morning, the most news in the morning, period. Weekdays 6 Eastern.
We've been trying to get in touch with all of the potential contenders, and everybody has kind of gone underground. You know, Joe Biden's even running around in his pickup truck avoiding people. The very fact that you're sitting here this morning speaking to us, does that mean we can take your name off the list?
You know what? You're just going to have to hear from the campaign, and they'll make the announcement when they're ready.
As far as you know, though, are you still on the list?
Again, I'll go back to that answer. I'll just call that the taking the fifth or something. You
right.
Hear from the campaign, John. They'll let us all know when they want to.
But you're not going to deny to us this morning, Governor, that you've at least gone through the vetting process.
Well, again, I'm just going to stick with the first answer. It's been flattering to be mentioned, though. I'll tell you, my mom in Kansas City just loves it every time somebody talks about me as VP. So, I mean, I just want to encourage that at least to keep her happy.
All right. Well, let me throw this question at you then, Governor. If not you, then who? You know, Joe Biden's name comes up a lot. Some people are even wondering if Hillary Clinton is still a dark horse candidate. Who do you think would best serve Senator Obama's needs at this point?
Well, John, I'm not going to give the campaign advice on it. I think that they have done a great job of making decisions all through this campaign, or they wouldn't be where they are. They have to weigh a lot of different factors, and my sense is that they're going to make a very good pick. However they choose, they'll make a very wise pick.
And regardless of who the running mate is going to be, this is still about Senator Obama. And the other day we had former mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, on, who's one of these nervous Democrats who's thinking, oh my goodness, is the magic going to continue? And yesterday on CNN.com, David Gergen, who you know well, wrote an interesting column in which he said, quote, "From my perspective, Obama needs to introduce a game changer and fast before public opinion starts to gel around the notion that he is a phenom who deserves great respect but is not seasoned enough and would be too much of a risk in the Oval Office." Do you agree that the senator needs a game changer, and now's the time going into this convention that he needs it?
Well, here's what I would say, John. There are a lot of people who are wringing their hands, but Barack's still ahead. I mean, the polls I'm seeing largely still have him ahead in this race, and they have had an underdog mentality about this race since the day they got in, that they had to climb a very steep mountain to win, and that's been one of the reasons they've been so successful. So, and look at Virginia as an example. Virginia hadn't been competitive in presidential politics for a very long time, and the polls in Virginia are a dead heat, and we're seeing tremendous enthusiasm for the Obama camp. I don't have any doubt that it's going to be close. I've always thought this race would be a very close one, but I think Senator Obama is going to do just fine. If he can take a state like Virginia, which has been non-competitive for 44 years, and put it in play, and we feel like we got a great chance of winning here, I think he's going to be our next president. Sure, I think the next week at the convention is real important, and I suspect that it will go off very, very well, and he'll come out of it with a real tailwind as people start to really pay attention to this race after Labor Day.
Would Virginia be even more competitive if you were the running mate? Could you, as Lyndon Johnson did in 1960, delivered Texas for President Kennedy, could you deliver Virginia?
Well, let me tell you this. I'm not going to make a case for myself because I'm not running for anything. Virginia gave Barack Obama nearly a 30-point edge in the February primary. His polling is very strong. Let me tell you about Virginians. We care deeply about the economy. We've been named the most business-friendly state in America the last 3 years by Forbes.com. We are very discouraged about what we've seen out of Washington in managing the economy, and we want a better partner. We want a partner who's going to know that the success of the economy is how the middle class are doing, not how the upper class and biggest businesses are doing. I understand that. Go ahead.
Which brings me to this point, is that there is a tremendous amount of discontent with this Bush administration. And yet, you know, even though Barack Obama is still slightly ahead, John McCain seems to be doing very well in the polls. So, I mean, are you surprised at that, given the track record of the Bush administration and people's discontent with it? And what does Senator Obama need to do to kind of reclaim the mojo here?
Well, no, I'm not surprised that folks feel favorable toward John McCain, but I think as they start to look at the direction they want to take the nation, feeling favorably about him as a public servant and what he's done in the past is one thing, but embracing somebody who has been part of the Bush economic strategy and whose basic proposal for the economy is to focus on how the wealthy are doing. I understand that Senator McCain was asked yesterday this question: how many houses do you own? And he couldn't answer that question. He couldn't count high enough, apparently, to even know how many houses he owned. We've got Americans who are struggling with foreclosures skyrocketing in Virginia and elsewhere, gas prices, jobs slowing down, the deficit at a record level. We've got to have somebody who can change the direction of this economy. John McCain won't do it, but Barack Obama understands the new economy, and he will.